Introducing the 2026 USA Women's World Cup qualifying team. And on the graphic, you have Aaliyah Boston. Where is Caitlin Clark? Where's the moneymaker? Where's the needle mover? Where's the name that everybody knows? Where's the name that draws the most viewership? Where's the name that draws the most attention?
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to have a very uncomfortable conversation about what is happening behind the closed doors of USA basketball. Because what we are witnessing right now is not just incompetence, it is not just a marketing mistake. It is a deliberate, calculated, and malicious campaign of erasure. For 2 years, we have watched the old guard of women's basketball, the gatekeepers, the legends, the inner circle led by the influence of Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, try to slow down the Caitlin Clark freight train. They tried to keep her off the Olympic team in 2024, and they succeeded. They tried to beat her up physically in the WNBA, and they failed. They tried to freeze her out of the media narrative, and they failed. But now, in 2026, they are trying a new tactic, the erasure. We have just seen the official promotional graphic for the 2026 World Cup qualifying team, a roster that finally, officially includes Caitlin Clark. But when you look at the poster, when you look at the image they are sending to the world to sell tickets and generate hype, who do you see? You see Aaliyah Boston, you see Chelsea Gray, you see Ryan Howard, but you do not see Caitlin Clark, the most famous basketball player on planet Earth, the woman who single-handedly revolutionized the economics of the sport, has been scrubbed from the marketing material of her own national team.
Not on the starting lineup. When you realize her own coach isn't even advocating her to be on the starting lineup. Newsflash. You think, let's take a look. Hey, Stephanie, who do you think we should go with to start? Caitlin Clark, the player on your team, the generational talent, or Chelsea Gray? You look at me with a straight face and tell me Stephanie White's going to pick Caitlin Clark. And I'll look back at you and tell you you're lying. She's going to say, oh, Chelsea Gray, oh, old guard, oh, Chelsea.
This is where the shadow of Sue Bird looms large. You might ask, Sue Bird is retired. What does she have to do with this? You have to understand how power works in this ecosystem. Sue Bird is the godmother of the WNBA. She is the shadow commissioner. She sets the culture. She sets the tone. And the tone that has been set for the last 2 years is one of resentment. If Sue Bird wanted Caitlin Clark to be the face of USA basketball, Caitlin Clark would be on that poster. If the Bird and Taurasi regime had embraced the new era, we would be seeing a passing of the torch. Instead, we are seeing a hoarding of the torch. By refusing to market Caitlin, by refusing to put her front and center, the establishment is sending a crystal clear message to the fans: this is not her team. This is still our team. She is just a guest. It is a passive-aggressive power move designed to humble the superstar, to remind her that no matter how many jersey sales she drives, she is still beneath the hierarchy that Sue Bird built.
Today, Team USA made a massive mistake in 2024, failing to capitalize on the freight train that was Caitlin Clark.
Let's dig into the financial insanity of this decision, because this is where the sabotage becomes undeniable. The host of the Source video asks the million-dollar question, where is the moneymaker? Imagine the NBA promoting the 1992 Dream Team and leaving Michael Jordan off the poster because they wanted to highlight Chris Mullin. It would be grounds for immediate termination of the entire marketing department. It is business. USA Basketball is a non-profit, but it relies on interest, sponsorship, and viewership. You have a literal golden goose in Caitlin Clark. You have a player who brings millions of eyeballs just by tying her shoes, and you choose to hide her. You choose to put Ryan Howard, a fantastic player, but a player with zero mainstream recognition on the graphic instead. That is not a mistake. That is a choice. That is someone in a meeting room saying, we don't want to make this about Caitlin. Why? Because making it about Caitlin diminishes the legacy of the players who came before her. It is ego over economics. They would rather have a smaller pie that they control than a massive pie where Caitlin is the main ingredient. The video also uncovers a terrifying reality about the coaching staff and the starting lineup. The host predicts, and I believe he is absolutely right, that Caitlin Clark is not going to start for this team. They are going to bring her off the bench. They are going to start Chelsea Gray, the point guard, the veteran, the friend of the program. Chelsea Gray is a legend, no one disputes that. But in the year 2026, Caitlin Clark is the best point guard in the world. To bench her is to insult the game itself, but this is how the old guard operates. They value seniority over skill. They value waiting your turn over production. And look at the coaching staff. Stephanie White, Caitlin's own coach in the WNBA, is an assistant here. The host calls her old guard, stamped and certified. Even her own coach might be complicit in this humbling ritual. They are going to use these qualifying games in Puerto Rico, not to showcase Caitlin, but to haze her, to make her sit, to make her watch, to make her feel small. And they are doing it while wearing the red, white, and blue, hiding their petty jealousy behind the mask of patriotism and team chemistry.
Basketball also reveals that Brianna Stewart will join the basketball women's national team in Miami for training camp March 7th through 8th. So she was announced on the roster, but she will be joining them for training camp March 7th through the 8th. Now,
and we have to talk about the ghost at the training camp. The press release slipped in a detail that should make every Caitlin Clark fan furious. Brianna Stewart, who is not on the roster, who is not playing in the games, is joining the team for training camp in Miami. Why? Why does a veteran who isn't playing need to be there? Is she there to coach? No. Is she there to cheer? No. She is there to police. She is there as the enforcer of the old guard culture. She is there to make sure that the team doesn't become the Caitlin show. It feels like surveillance. It feels like the establishment doesn't trust the new generation. Caitlin, Paige, Buckers, Angel Reese, to run the ship, so they are sending in a minder to keep them in line. It is deeply condescending. It reinforces the idea that Caitlin is not a leader, but a child who needs supervision from the real legends. This connects directly to the unrivaled conspiracy. Remember, Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, and by extension Sue Bird, who is an investor and advisor, have their own league to worry about. They have their own equity to protect. Is it possible? Just possible. That they don't want Caitlin Clark to shine too brightly in USA basketball because it takes the shine away from the players they are trying to market in Unrivaled. If Caitlin Clark goes to Puerto Rico and drops 40 points a game and becomes the undisputed face of the world, it hurts the brand of the veterans who claimed she wasn't ready. It hurts the narrative that the old guard is still superior. There is a conflict of interest here that reeks of corruption. They are using USA basketball as a vehicle to maintain their own market value while suppressing the one player who threatens their dominance. Let's look at the 2024 Olympics snub again, because that was the warning shot. When they left her off the team in Paris, they told us it was for basketball reasons. They said she needed rest. They gaslit the entire country. And what happened? The ratings were fine, but they weren't historic. They won the gold, but nobody talked about it a week later. They missed the moment. And now, 2 years later, they are doubling down. They are proving that 2024 wasn't a mistake, it was a policy. The policy is contain Caitlin, the policy is to use her name to sell tickets if necessary. But never ever let her be the hero. Never let her be the face. Because if she becomes the face, then Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi become the past. And their egos simply cannot handle fading into the background. The disrespect to the fans is what makes this truly unforgivable. The casual fan mentioned in the video represents 90% of the basketball-watching public. These are the people who buy the merchandise. These are the people who pay for the cable packages. They want to see Caitlin Clark. They don't know who the other players are, and that's not their fault. It's the fault of a league that failed to market them for 20 years. By hiding Caitlin, USA Basketball is telling those millions of fans, we don't respect you. They are telling the fans that their preferences don't matter. It is a level of gatekeeping that is toxic to the sport. They would rather have a pure, basketball purist audience of 5,000 people than a global audience of 5 million, if that global audience is only there for Caitlin. It is the definition of cutting off your nose to spite your face. Sue Bird's refusal to actively promote Caitlin as the heir apparent is the silence that speaks volumes. Bird is everywhere. She has a podcast. She is on TV commercials. She is at every major event. She knows how to build a star. If she wanted to, she could put her arm around Caitlin Clark today and say, this is the future. Watch her. That one gesture would end the war. It would unite the generations. But she won't do it. She refuses to do it. Instead, we get silence. We get graphics without Caitlyn's fate. We get leaks about her coming off the bench. We get training camp visits from her best friend, Brianna Stewart. It is a coordinated effort to keep the spotlight on the birdcage clique and keep Caitlyn on the outside looking in. And let's look at the other names on that roster. Paige Bueckers, Angel Reese. These are the next-gen stars. They are being brought in, but they are being neutralized by grouping them all together under the supervision of the old guard coaches and minders. USA Basketball is trying to dilute their individual brand. They are trying to force them into a system that stifles their creativity. Caitlin Clark thrives when she is given the keys. We saw it at Iowa. We saw it with the Indiana Fever. But USA Basketball is a system designed to strip away individuality and enforce conformity. And for a player like Caitlin, that is a death sentence. They are going to try to turn a Ferrari into a minivan. They are going to make her pass the ball to Chelsea Gray and stand in the corner. And when she struggles because she is being misused, they will turn around and say, "We told you she wasn't that good." It is a trap. The whole training camp is a trap. The video host says, "I hope this is just a graphic." But we know better. In the world of high-level sports marketing, nothing is just a graphic. Every pixel is approved. Every placement is debated. Leaving Caitlin Clark off that image required sign-off from the highest levels. It required someone to look at the layout and say, "Yes, this is what we want." That person, whoever it is an enemy of the growth of the game. They are putting personal politics above the health of the sport. And the fact that Sue Bird hasn't called it out, the fact that she hasn't used her immense platform to correct this injustice, tells us exactly whose side she is on. She is on the side of the establishment. She is on the side of the status quo. So what happens when the games actually start in Puerto Rico? We need to be prepared for the narrative war. If Caitlin comes off the bench, the media, the friendly media that Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe have cultivated for years, will spin it as learning the ropes. They will say she needs to earn her stripes. They will gaslight us again. They will try to normalize the idea that the best player in the world is a role player on Team USA. We cannot let them get away with it. We have to call it out now. This is sabotage. This is jealousy. This is a desperate attempt by a fading generation to hold on to power for one more cycle. They can hide her face on a poster. They can bury her on the depth chart. They can send Brianna Stewart to intimidate her. But they are fighting gravity. Caitlin Clark is inevitable. The more they try to suppress her, the more the fans will revolt. The comment section in the video is already on fire. The Twitter threads are burning. The fans see through the game. USA Basketball thinks they are being subtle, but they are being transparently petty. They are ushering in a new era, yes, but they are doing it kicking and screaming. They are dragging their feet, hoping that if they delay long enough, the Caitlin Clark hype will die down, and they can go back to their comfortable obscurity. But the hype isn't dying, it's growing. And this latest insult, this refusal to market the face of the franchise, is only going to add fuel to the fire. Sue Bird and the old guard might win this battle of the graphic, but they have already lost the war for the soul of the sport. The future is Caitlin, and no amount of Photoshop can change that.